So there's been an awful lot going on lately regarding the markets, cruise lines, airlines, the stimulus package, unemployment. It's out of control. But there's one financial crisis that we're facing right now that nobody seems to be talking about. Now, I'm sure a lot of you probably haven't even noticed this because you're not allowed to leave your house right now, or even if you have, your mind isn't really focused on this. You got a lot more going on right now. But if you've been out, you may have picked up on gas prices being at like an incredible low right now. And we're not talking like a few cents here, guys. Prices are like dropping by the dollar. What's up, guys? I'm Jim Leadis. On my channel, I cover everything to do with finance, investing, and entrepreneurship, and well, money. So if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, you're definitely going to want to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, as it will help out my video tremendously and make it so other people find it as well. So like I said, guys, gas prices are dropping by an alarming rate. I mean, they're supposed to go under $1 per gallon. So the price of oil has dropped 68% in just 12 weeks. That's awesome, right? I mean, well, to understand this, we got to take a step back, like to March. So with the illness that's going on right now, transportation has been shut down by 90%, whether it's cars, trucks, planes, trains, boats, spaceships, whatever. Okay, so when you reduce transportation that much and 2/3 of the oil we pump out of the ground goes to transportation, what do we do with all this extra oil? You know, supply and demand, right? It's not like the demand is just decreasing. No, the demand hit a brick wall and fell straight to the ground. And now we're left with a surplus of oil we don't know what to do with. Like any other business, it's all based on supply and demand. If there's no demand for the oil, we're left with a surplus of it. And the only way to get rid of this surplus is by dropping the prices. And yeah, you may be thinking, well, cheap gas prices, that's great for the economy. That's just what we need. And you're right. That is just what we need to stimulate the economy. Just not right now, because we're not allowed to go anywhere. You can't do anything. But this isn't the only thing that's going on with the oil industry. Now, starting at the global shutdown, everyone was realizing that transportation was going to be reduced, right? So all the leaders of the top oil production industries in the world gathered up and said, hey, we got to cut production down. This way we don't have to kill our prices. And that's exactly what Saudi Arabia said. And they are the #1 producer of oil in the entire world. Naturally, everybody agreed because it just made sense. However, one country decided to go against the grain here, and that would be Russia. Russia said, I'm going to keep pumping the same amount of oil, because if I have more oil, then I could sell for a lower price and then dominate the market, right? Wrong. Saudi Arabia, being the top dog of this industry, said, hey, Russia, we can produce more oil more efficiently, faster, and cheaper than you can. Starting tomorrow, we're increasing production by 30%, and we're going to offer discounted rates to preferred customers. Now, Saudi Arabia has the entire market by the... Those are the things that led to the collapse in oil prices. But who cares? Cheap gas prices, oil's down. I'm happy as can be, right? Well, not everybody is. You see, the countries as a whole can handle the fluctuation in oil prices, right? But who can't are the states, cities, or towns that were built around or totally rely on oil production. Let me break it down for you. There are lots of areas that rely directly on the oil industry for survival, so completely stripping of that out of nowhere is not good news. Now, what happens to oil towns when there's such a dramatic drop in prices like that? They disappear. You see, the oil is what brought that town there to begin with. The oil brought the jobs, the people, right? And when there's people, they need supermarkets, they need gas stations, convenience stores, shopping malls. You know, you get the idea. Healthcare centers. So it kind of brought business into the town, making it the town of what it is. But if the heart of that town dies, if the oil disappears, if the town goes bankrupt or the prices are down, that is what drives people out just as fast as they came in. The town became too dependent on that one resource. So when that goes away, then you see the bankruptcy, unemployment, you see crime rate go up. It's awful. Eventually, the town just dies and it becomes a ghost town. So a combination of the global economic collapse, the stock market being in the toilet, and the oil industry with all its problems, it's just a perfect recipe for disaster. And really, that's what makes these towns die. And it's very likely that we will be seeing a lot of ghost towns start popping up everywhere like never before. So if we fast forward to where we are today, early April, this past Thursday, Saudi Arabia and Russia finally agreed. Saudi Arabia said they would cut production from 12 million barrels to 9 million barrels per day, and Russia will go from 10 to 8 million barrels. So in total, between these two big guys and the rest of the leaders, I think in total they are going for about 10 million barrels per day reduction. How much is that? Well, to put it in perspective for you, the world consumes 97 million barrels per day. Now, at a current price of being just $25 a barrel, that's about $2.4 billion every single day. That's a ton of money, right? Well, you're forgetting that that's the reduced price. See, last year at this time, it wasn't $25 a barrel. It was $60 a barrel, making that $2.4 billion actually $6 billion every single day. That's disgusting. Well, it's for the world, but still. And if that's not enough for you, the US alone, on average, typically consumes 20 million barrels every single day, okay? Now, because of the shutdown, recently the numbers have been reduced from 20 million a day to 5 million a day. That is insane. The last time that the US has used 5 million barrels in a day was in 1968. So now that this deal went through and they're going to be cutting production, that's really bad news for us consumers. Cheap gas prices couldn't have timed themselves any better. This is a time where people are out of work. There's like 20 million people unemployed or something crazy like that. People need money, and by having cheap gas prices, they're saving a tremendous amount. So it couldn't come a better time, but now it's very possible we could see those prices just go out the door and prices could be going up very quickly and possibly very high. Now, since this all happened, over 200 small refineries have filed bankruptcy. Less competition means companies can charge more money, right? And honestly, the best thing for our economy right now is to have cheap gas prices. Like for a long time, even way after this whole illness thing has gone and passed. You want people to drive, go on road trips, spend their money, right? Vacation, take that flight. To fix our economy, we need to circulate as much money through it as possible. But think about it. If we have high gas prices and people have very low income or are losing money right now, no one's going to go anywhere. Even when this thing is gone, it's going to be very hard for people to get past that point and start driving and traveling and road trips and all that kind of stuff, right? And the price of fuel definitely has a huge factor to play on airline ticket costs. And it may be easy to say, well, just keep the prices low, right? Well, guess what? The companies supplying us oil are also suffering from the same thing. They're gonna wanna get as much money out of their oil as possible. So overall, it's pretty safe to say that the oil industry is kind of in balance right now. And given the circumstance of where we're at today, we've been at this thing for about 1 to 2 months now. I think we're still in the beginning stages of this and we have a long way to go. With that being said, I think we'll still be seeing a lot of changes with oil prices, production, and probably see a lot more companies file for bankruptcy. I think this alone could be a very good wake-up call for the world, saying that we cannot rely so heavily upon one resource, right? I think it's time to start looking down other avenues like nuclear power or solar power and seriously start running with this stuff, you know, like Tesla, like electric cars, get that stuff moving. I mean, every house should be, you know, solar panels and all that garbage. But I think it's seriously going to be a good wake-up call for the world. But if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with this, and you're definitely going to want to subscribe to my channel, I promise I will not disappoint you. With that said, also, don't forget to hit the like button. But with that said, thank you for watching. I'm Jim Leadus. I'll see you on the next one.